Hi, many of you know me as D.D. Walton on Renderosity. My name is Brent, and I've been promising for some time a tutorial on lighting. And for 18 years, I was a professional photographer. I had a portrait studio, and I also did uh, traditional painting, and I took that into digital painting of portraits using Corel Painter. For a while there, I was one of Corel Painter's featured artists, which means when you would boot Corel Painter, you would see a little slideshow as it loaded, and I had some work on there a few years back. But now, due to retirement and some health issues, I'm full into DAZ. So that's my medium of choice these days. I find it very relaxing, and I'm going to teach you some basics about lighting. So we have here the Genesis 8 Starter Essentials. Why don't you follow along and go ahead and load DAZ and get to this point. And while you're doing that, I'm going to come down here in Environment. I believe DAZ by default sets it to Dome and Scene. I'm going to set it to Sun and Sky. So once you get DAZ loaded, set it to Sun and Sky. And my time of day, I'm going to leave it around 6 p.m. like it shows there. I'm going to go up here to June. So this is going to be around the spring equinox at like June 20th. I'm sorry. Not June, that's the start of summer. March, around March 20th. And year doesn't matter or anything. So I've got it set to 6 p.m. And right now you can't see its effects. So let's go back up here to Smart Content, and we're going to load the dev figure here for Genesis 8 female. And the reason why is this means we're not putting out nudity out there on YouTube or anything. And it also displays the figure as just being this white plastic look, which means you have nothing to distract from the figure. So I'm going to click here and turn it to the start. So now, 6 p.m. on the spring equinox, you see there's kind of this line down the center of the face. This is called split lighting. And I'm going to come in here closer. So we've got half the face in the sun, which is to our left, and the other half of the face in the shadows, which is to our right. Now, if I come down here into Environment, I can start rotating the dome here. And by the way, I'm running an i7 machine with a 1070 Ti card. Nothing real fancy here. I do have a couple of higher end machines, but for demonstration purposes, you can watch here. So now here we go. We've got split lighting again, but just the opposite on the face. Now here we've got straight on lighting, which straight on lighting like this hides a lot of blemishes and stuff if you're photographing somebody. It's very flattering lighting, but not very artistic. So as we rotate here, you can see what happens. Now, if we go here to the extreme and get the lighting behind the head, we call this backlighting. It creates this nice rim. So we've got our four basic lights with the light coming from the side. We've got split lighting on the model's right. We've got backlighting, split lighting on the model's left, and then we've got full-on flat lighting where it goes straight on to the face there. You notice there's not much shadow under the nose or anything like that. Now, what happens if we change the time of day here? So I'm going to click on the hour, and we're going to go through various times of the day, and you notice there's a shift. And so here around 3 p.m., so we're halfway between noon and 6 p.m., we've got something altogether different. This lighting, where the nose comes down, the shadow on the nose, and the section on the cheek is open. We call this a loop. This is open loop because the shadow on the nose doesn't close it. And as we rotate, you notice it closes that loop, and this is called closed loop lighting. It's also a style that, back it up just a little bit so we get this eye in here. This type of lighting with the closed loop, some people call it Rembrandt lighting, but the technical term for it is closed loop lighting. As we go along, we've got a little bit different effect here, not quite split lighting, because we have this diagonal here on the forehead. And of course, we repeat this as we go along to the other side. And the backlighting is more off to the side. Now let's go to noon, high noon here. Oops, that's PM. We'll fix that in a second here. Okay, come on. There we go. So now the light is overhead, and as we rotate the light, you can see we can get a little bit of that closed loop going. We don't get too much of the eye in there, but we can create some chromatic effects. You typically don't want shadows on the eye sockets because we like looking at the eyes of people. And you can see what happens as we rotate along. Now we're going to go to 6 a.m. Let's change that to 6 a.m. Oops. So some of you are probably guessing that 6 a.m. on March 20th, it's pitch dark. Let's change that a little bit. There we go. Now, this is very early in the morning, and you notice how the color changed. This is called a golden hour. It is the hour right before and after sunrise or sunset. So we get this nice warm glow. Okay. We call this quality of light. When the light changes temperature, which also equates to color, it gets more of a warmth to it. So play around with that. Just play around with the head and play around with the time of day. You can also play around with longitude and latitude. They give you similar effects as the time of day. But watch the shadows on the face. Try to get the eyes out of the shadow and into the light. Here's a beautiful split lighting here where this eye is somewhat shadow, but we can monkey around with that. So now this eye is in the light, this is the dark. Split lighting is very dramatic. Loop lighting is very romantic. And leave some feedback. Let me know what you think. We're going to get more advanced in my next video. Have a great day.